So thank you so much for dedicating your time to our community. I'd like to get into talking about, and with what we do is United Way, and talking about United Way in the community. Some of you guys think, oh, United Way, they provide support to nonprofits, they provide volunteer opportunities, we run these campaigns, we do fantastic jobs with it, but, let's learn a little bit about all together what we do. There's so much that United Way does. So I'd like to introduce our Vice President of Community Impact, Audrey Trussell. So we're going to do a little hot seating here. I'm going to go over here. Audrey's going to come over here. So.
Good morning, everyone. Give me 1 second while I get settled. If you've seen me in person, you know I'm a little bit shorter than a lot of our staff here. So there we go. All right, so thanks, Josh, for that introduction. Thank you all for joining us this morning. It's a short week, which often means that it's a fast week with a lot of things stuffed into it. So I appreciate you giving us an hour of your time to learn more about what we do and to learn more about being a really effective employee campaign manager. So I'm going to talk about what we do here at United Way, which is a question that often pops up. 2020 has been one heck of a year, right? We've got a health crisis going on. We have an economy that's being challenged. We have social unrest. But the reality is there are problems that existed before 2020, before the COVID-19 pandemic. And those problems still exist, and there are more of them. The problems that face our region and our community are huge, and they need comprehensive solutions. United Way builds collaborations and creates strong alliances that make an impact today and in the years to come. Over the next few slides, I'm going to focus on how together we make an impact in our community with our community. United Way's mission is to empower individuals and drive systemic change to provide everyone with a clear path to success. We do this across our steps to success. We start with our basic needs being met, reach up to things like high school graduation, financial well-being, and all the way up to connected and healthy older adults. And we do this in 11 localities total. We build relationships and we use data to get to know the unique opportunities and challenges that community members face in each. And then we have this ability to step back and form a comprehensive understanding of the region's most pressing issues and most promising practices. Now I'm going to let some of our partners answer the question, what does United Way do? Try it again.
No one organization can solve problems by itself, and so we need to look at things holistically. We reflect the way the community comes together to create positive solutions for everybody.
We partner with the United Way tremendously, particularly in the area of feeding seniors. Without the community support that we get to be able to provide that program, many of those seniors would have to leave and be in a more institutional setting.
Thanks to this funding, thanks to this support, our families can access to adult education that otherwise they might not have been able to.
The funding is always important, and it's enabled us to give more kids access to quality programs. But the funding and the United Way support goes beyond the dollar.
I think United Way has done a fantastic job over the years to convening organizations, leading conversation, but also evolving to meet the needs of the community as the community needs some change.
And the support of an organization with that kind of strength and name recognition empowers some of the smaller facets of working parts in the city.
United Way is focused on empowering individuals by tapping into their intrinsic motivation so that they can create the solutions for themselves. The steps to success are an important framework for us, not simply because it makes sense from a research standpoint, but because it's relatable to all of us. Our friends, our families, our neighbors, everyone is on the steps to success somewhere. That's why it's an important framework, not only for us to rally people around, but also for us to inform the work and our funding and our convening, and ultimately the empowerment work.
But I think what United Way does is it gives me, it gives you, it gives us all a way of being connected and to be a philanthropist and to know that we're making a difference for people.
All right, so I see a few people in the waiting room. I'm going to let them in real quick as that video finishes up. There we go. All right. Let's see if I can move the slides. Nope. Giving it a go. You know, no matter how many times we use Zoom technology, we always need someone who can help us out. And United Way is there in times of need, even when it has to do with video sharing. This has happened time and time again, and I still have not learned. So bear with me for 1 second. There we go. Yet again, Josh saves the day. Thanks, Josh. And hopefully that gave time for our folks in the waiting room to join us. Thank you for being here. If you haven't popped into chat to say hi, pop into chat, share your goals with each other, share your questions, and we'll make sure we answer this. So back to talking about what we do here at United Way and how we do it. That video was filmed before the pandemic struck our community this year. So I also wanted to take a moment to note that in times of community crisis, United Way is here. We adapt and we pivot our own programs, which I'll talk about in a couple of slides. And we also partner with others to support the community, such as with the Central Virginia COVID-19 Response Fund. To date, over 150 emergency response and recovery grants have been made to ensure access to food, healthcare, shelter, educational tools, and workforce supports. So let's talk about how we do it. The COVID-19 Fund is one example of how we unite to serve the community. But we're going to dive in a little bit more into our framework of how we think about the work that we do and how we do it within those tiers. We use this framework that you see here to guide our efforts in which one layer builds off the previous. So let's learn more about how we do what we do. As a major regional funding organization, United Way is uniquely qualified to provide critical information to community leaders and organizations, particularly during periods of crisis like right now, the COVID-19 pandemic. During COVID-19, the research team worked to understand and share resources that are available to individuals and families. And then we shared that research in a toolkit online to empower families with the knowledge of what services and relief supports are available. Our next tier is funding. United Way doesn't just fund, we invest. Right now, we're invested in 74 programs at 54 agencies in all 11 of our localities. During the pandemic, our team has stayed in touch with our partners. We've learned about the local challenges being faced and anticipating future needs. But what we've also learned is that our partners are able to pivot and provide continued service even in times of crisis, serving those in need at all times, no matter what. Our partners took on this challenge and kept going. And so what we did was we reached out to explore and implement new ways of serving and continue moving missions forward. An example of this is Friends Association for Children, which provides preschool and early childhood development opportunities for low-income children in our region. Friends never shut down their child development services. What they did was they implemented really safety protocols that were above and beyond what was asked of them. An example of this is their teachers who normally took public transportation were picked up by van drivers who normally picked up kids to help mitigate the spread of the virus and keep them safe. And now, as RPS starts their school year, they're turning their meeting rooms into virtual learning spaces where kids will have access to computer time, to breakfast and lunch, to recreation, and a caring study hall type environment. And to me, this is the ultimate proof point that we, United Way staff and volunteers, really do the work to ensure that your community dollars and investments are going to high quality partners that can continue to provide service no matter what challenges come their way. And they've told me that what's most important to them during this time is that we continue to support them in this way that we do, where we fund them when we believe in their work and in their ability to do this. All right, we got a couple more people joining us. Welcome, join us in the chat and share your questions. All right, so another example of the work we do is here with Project Homes. One aspect of the pandemic that a lot of us has felt, including myself during this time, is really the impact of social isolation and the feeling of being stuck in your home. And while I'm privileged and being stuck is a very different experience than the story of Clifford and Rosina, the story that they shared with Project Homes and with Project Homes shared with us really spoke to me about what does it feel like to be independent. So Clifford in this picture was weak after 2 months in the hospital and in rehab. And upon discharge, he would have been stuck in his house because all they had were steps. So Rosina, his wife, reached out to Project Homes, one of our partners, and asked for their help. They came in and they built a ramp before Clifford was even out of the rehab center so that when he got home, he was able to come in and out of his house independently. And Clifford said, "It gave me more freedom. I don't have to wait for anyone. I can go outside on my own and come in when I want." Our next two tiers are convening and empowerment. We believe in the power of coming together to solve problems. That's why we bring together the entire community, individuals, nonprofits, schools, government agencies, and businesses alike to collectively tackle our region's toughest challenges. And we run programs, lead volunteer opportunities, and connect individuals with knowledge and resources, all of which has a positive impact on the lives of people in the community, and as well as the lives of their family members, friends, and neighbors. So one example of this is a volunteer income tax assistance program. Working with over 200 volunteers, VITA, which is commonly known as, provides free income tax preparation for households with income of $56,000 or less. Since 2002, we have worked with local organizations to strengthen the financial independence of working families in our region. So the people that you see in this picture are real community volunteers with real community members who face real needs and have real problems. These needs, the problems didn't go away when COVID-19 hit. So what did we do? We went virtual. Our tax program, which has largely been run through sites with in-person experiences, quickly picked up, went to an online opportunity, and we're able to transition to what we now call virtual VITA. And it's still doing tax services right now outside of that traditional tax period. So for us here, tax is an all year round financial empowerment opportunity. This picture is a picture of the first graduating class of Kindergarten Countdown Camp. So last year, 1 in 7 children in our region started kindergarten without the skills necessary to succeed and thrive in elementary school. What we found out was that too many young children are falling behind even before they start their first day of school. So we created Kindergarten Countdown Camp. I'm going to share with you a video.
The first day of school can be very overwhelming to a new kindergarten student. Kindergarten camp may be a short 3 to 4 weeks, but it does a great job exposing students to a classroom setting and preparing them for September. Each child comes in needing something different from their camp experience. As a teacher, we figure out what that is pretty quickly. Some need to experience structure. Some need to learn to follow rules. We put scissors and pencils in their hands. We show them how to sit and listen to a book being read. KCC can ensure students have these skills by the time they begin kindergarten by just giving them the chance to get the experience.
It's a small nudge towards them being in regular school without the pressure of regular school.
Without that support, the transition from early childhood to early elementary school to middle school and higher, it all starts in the primary grade.
If you're thinking about supporting United Way's commitment to prepare students for kindergarten, then thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Let's see if I can change the slide on my own, everyone. If not, Josh is standing in the sidelines. I did it. I hope you enjoyed that video about kindergarten calendar camp. If you can't hear it, there is applause happening in the room for my ability to manage technology. So also really supportive environment here at United Way. So if you haven't heard or you haven't checked out our website, we couldn't do Kindergarten Countdown Camp in classroom this year in person. So what we did is we converted it to a virtual experience. And that enabled us to go from a classroom of 20 students to a classroom of 60 plus their families. We also put the materials online. And if you visit it, it's available now for you to share, for you to use with the materials and lessons that the teachers created for students knowing what they need to be ready for kindergarten. So check that out online, yourunitedway.org, shameless plug. There's great results and fun materials as well. I particularly learned how to use scissors appropriately this year, and it was a great lesson. What I've talked about in the past 15-20 minutes are really just some examples of what we were able to do with your help when we unite to provide everyone with a clear path to success. And now more than ever, we need to continue this work so that the people, the families, the children, our neighbors, and friends receive the supports that they need to have their basic needs met and climb the steps to success. We know that we are going to have more people in need, and we know that the people who were in need before are going to be in even higher need of support. I thank you for joining us in this effort. I thank you for the work that you've done to date and then the work that you're going to do in the days ahead. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Dan Kearns, our Chief Operating Officer, who's waiting on the side. So excuse us as we do the shuffle. Josh is telling me which way to go. Always supportive, Josh. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. Good news for you is we have done these trainings before, and apparently the last time I did the training, people are still trying to regain their hearing. So I am going to make sure that we keep the voice at a pretty acceptable level for everyone on the phone here or on Zoom today. So if it's too loud, please just let us know and in the chat. So let's get started. The workplace campaign. Two of the things we often hear about, two questions that often come up or two requests from folks we work with are as follows. They say, I want to give to whomever I wish, and I really want it to be easy. Oftentimes people don't associate those things with United Way, especially the first one. I want to give to whomever I wish. And actually both of those things are quite possible. The ease of the campaign and being able to have the freedom of choice to say, I'm going to give to a specific agency through the workplace campaign, or I'm going to give to a specific area or focus of work in one of the 9 steps that United Way is doing, or I'm going to give it directly to United Way. It really is your choice, and your United Way campaign allows you to do that. When it comes to how can it, as far as being easy, we give multiple options. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes here about how to give. Again, whether it is through a payroll deduction, whether it is a credit card gift, whether it is through obviously check, but the platforms. We have some folks who really just prefer the paper campaign. We have the opportunity for fillable documents, but we also have the opportunity for an e-pledge campaign, which is completely online and is certainly been of interest to a significant number of campaigns this year due to the COVID situation that we find ourselves in. So as far as the ease of allowing people to give, we offer multiple options, and we will touch on a few of those as we go through the campaign presentation. Some other frequently asked questions that we often get. One is, what is overhead and how do you talk about it? So let's just talk about what is our overhead. If you make a gift to United Way, we are not charging. There is no fee. If you make a gift through us to another United Way, there is no fee. If you make a gift to another 501c3 and you have that opportunity to give to whatever 501c3 you would wish, there is a 5% fee on that gift. That helps cover, when we talk about overhead, that is a lot of the administrative things that go into making this happen. knowing that your gift is being stewarded properly, making sure that that gift is getting to the correct nonprofit, making sure that that nonprofit is being notified. It does also involve, the overhead involves the cost of fundraising. And as you probably have come to know, the United Way campaign, we are not just, here you go, please give, and send you out an email. We are there every step of the way for you to try and help you and to have a successful campaign. So that's a little bit about as far as what actually is overhead and how do we talk about it. I think the most important thing to remember is there is not a fee if you're giving to United Way or to another United Way. If it's going through us to another agency, there's a 5% fee on that. Can I give to a specific type of work? What you're seeing on the slide is just what actually is in the room I'm sitting in right now is our steps to success. Our website does a wonderful job. So yourunitedway.org of explaining each of those steps. And if you would like to, if you're focused and you're really energized by middle school engagement, if it is more by basic needs, each one of those steps goes along with not only a stage in life that a lot of us have moved along, but too many people don't. You can certainly focus your gift there. The gift would go to United Way, and we would be able to apply it to one of the many agencies that are applying services along those steps in conjunction with United Way. So what is the benefit of giving directly to United Way? When I first started with United Way some 10 years ago at another United Way, and one of the questions always was, well, isn't United Way just a middleman? Far from that. It really is an organization, and Audrey touched on this before. We pull people together because our focus, we are not a single issue organization. Many of our wonderful partners do focus on single issue. Our single issue is what's best for this community, and we bring people together. So when you give directly to United Way, you allow us to do that. You allow us to focus on issues, on large issues that oftentimes it's not just about one agency and what they're doing. It's about multiple agencies. It's how do we pull together our corporate partners, like many of you, our agencies, like some of you that are on here today, government leaders, to really try and make a difference. And we will talk about some of that work, whether it's been with COVID-19 or things that predated the pandemic this year. It's what United Way has always done and what we would continue to keep doing. So that is certainly one of the benefits of giving directly to United Way. And again, if you wanted to direct that gift to one of the steps to success, because it is just something that you are extremely engaged in, we certainly can make that happen as well. So one of the questions is, I don't want my gift going to a national organization because United Way is, obviously we are a worldwide organization. Our headquarters for the both internet, the global organization is in Alexandria, Virginia. We are though, however, a local organization. And what does that mean? We have our own local board. We are a separate 501c3. We make local decisions. So if you give local, unless you direct us to do otherwise, that money stays local. That is the power of United Way. We are able to support these local organizations in making a difference in our local community. The benefit of being a national organization is we get best practices from our partners, not only in our national office in Alexandria, but over the 1,100 other United Ways around the country, that we can go and tap them on the shoulder and say, what's been working here, what's been, or what's been working in this type of focus area, and can we bring that to Richmond to benefit the community here? We've done that many times. There's been other United Ways that have done that to us and asked us. The other power of being a national organization is the brand. The United Way brand is very valuable, and many people will recognize that logo. Many times it was from years ago, people would recognize the logo because of the engagement we had with the NFL. But it is so much bigger than that. It is a logo that really does, I think in a lot of people's minds, represent a level of trust. They know that they can trust United Way, that they have their finger on the pulse of the community and the issues that are most important in a community, and they bring people together to try and solve those issues. So that is, we are the answer. Are we a local or are we a national? The answer is yes, we're both. And we bring the benefits of both to your campaign and to our donors, and finally, really to the people that we're serving. So we're going to talk a little bit about the campaign timeline and your team. So I often say this when we talk about a timeline, don't look at it now and say, oh, my campaign is before 12 weeks, I'm already behind. This is a best practice. We certainly can condense this and make it work because although I don't recommend this, and everyone who is on my team that's on this Zoom call, and Josh, who's sitting here right next to me, is going to be like, oh, good Lord, don't say this. But I mean, we've done campaigns with a pretty quick turnaround. We don't recommend it, but we certainly can. So again, this is best practice. So with that being said, we talk about 3 months out from the campaign. You really want to determine start and end dates. Many of your campaigns, you have, you're fairly consistent year to year. That doesn't mean they can't change. A lot of our campaigns do run in the fall. So you obviously, know that. It doesn't mean you can't have something at a different time of year if there's benefits. A lot of people will talk about, well, this is a better time for us for, regarding this is when bonuses go out. This is, just a lot of different thought goes into it as far as when those start and end dates are. We would ask you to discuss your goals with United Way. And Josh talked about goal setting earlier. Goal setting can be a variety of different focuses. I mean, let's be honest. It is a fundraising campaign, and we do look to raise money, and that would certainly be one of the discussions we would want to have with you. But we also want to have what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to get more of your team engaged in the community? We can help with that. Are you just trying to get more to participate, to learn more? We can help with that. And this would happen in this goal setting time period. Get people to help, recruit a committee. This shouldn't all be on one person. And remember, we are here. This is what we do. And we are here to help you. So please, 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 any questions, you contact us and we will be there for you to help during the campaign. And certainly keep senior leadership of your organization in the loop. It's one of the biggest issues we sometimes will run into is someone will have a great idea and we will have thought that their senior leadership was already in the loop on that, and then to come to find out after the fact that they can't do it because there was just a difference of opinion. So please up front, keep your senior leadership in the loop. And about 10 weeks out, we talk about finalizing the committee, including leadership. ADT stands for Alexis de Tocqueville. Those are $10,000 and up donors. So if you have that, we certainly, you may want to have someone that just focuses on that within your campaign. And leadership is typically $1,000 and up. And then begin regular meetings. Just start getting together. The more you can do, obviously, just like any project, anything, the more you can do earlier, the better, especially with this campaign. At 8 weeks, what you see in red are some of the things that maybe take a little more priority this year. We talk about finalizing giving platform. And what I mentioned before is are we talking about paper or are we talking about an electronic platform? The electronic platform, we will do most of the work, but we do need obviously help from you to be able to load information into it and make the platform as appealing and to the specifications that you want. We would ask potentially your IT department to take a look at it to make sure that they're comfortable with it from a security point of view. But it is a trusted system that we have been using for a number of years. And most people who, once they're on it, don't go back to paper pledge forms. But again, if paper works better for you, that's fine. We can also do a hybrid where we do a virtual or an e-pledge campaign, which is what the online platform is called, and some paper. Because if you have folks who are not in front of a computer all the time, well, then obviously a paper campaign, paper pledge forms would work. And we would figure out, we obviously would get those forms to you in a very safe way, certainly being cognizant of the pandemic. What kind of presentation? Honestly, most this year have gone to a virtual presentation, but even within the world, we would still be willing to do in-person presentations, but if it's a virtual, if you want us to do, what's your platform? Is it Zoom? We can help with something. Is it, Teams? We just want to make sure that everything is set up in advance and that we're aware of what you're going to be using. Do you want us to meet with a group? Do you want us to pre-record a message? Again, these are all things that are really, really helpful. And the more lead time we have, the better experience we can give for your team. What is a campaign theme? Oftentimes an organization will come up with their own campaign theme. For some of our national organizations or larger corporate partners, those themes are set out of their headquarters. But even for our local partners here, please come up with something fun, and we will do our best to go along with that and work with you on that. And always look to plan and recruit more volunteers as well. 6 weeks out communication plan, reminding people, hey, campaign's coming, because what you don't want to do is 2 days before, hey, don't forget, tomorrow's that United Way campaign. Like, that's probably not setting yourself up for success. And most importantly, it's not setting up the people we're trying to help with this successful campaign. So our marketing team can provide you templates and materials, finalize location and plans for any volunteer opportunities. And we're going to get a little more detail. My colleague here shortly, Emily Watkins, is going to talk about volunteering. And do we want someone? Would you like to have a speaker? We can try and arrange that virtually as well from a partner agency or from someone having to do with one of the programs that Audrey mentioned before that United Way runs. Most important thing, meet with your United Way rep, your RD person. If Josh is your person, if Samantha, if Sheila, if Amy, if Allie, if any one of our team, make sure they are your primary contact, and they are fantastic. It is as good a group as I have ever worked with in 10 years. So you have any one of them, you have a fantastic representative of United Way, and they will work with you. So please keep them in the loop regarding the campaign all the way through. As we get 2 weeks out, you may want to consider a leadership event, which can be for leadership donors. It also could be the leadership of your organization, meeting with our CEO. So that is one option, but we also could, actually have, even now in this day and age, a virtual leadership event. In years past, we've had things right before the campaign where the leadership donors will get together at a local eatery or something, and just we'll talk a little bit about United Way in a very casual environment, and it's just a great way to learn about what United Way does. As Audrey talked about before, we're very proud of the work we do in the community. We want to share it, and we think it's important that as donors, you know exactly what your money is going towards if you're leaving it with United Way. And we talk about a launch event. A kickoff event is for all employees, and what does that mean? Oftentimes organizations will say, oh no, we can't get to that employee, or we can't get into that department. Please, in the lead up, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks in advance of this campaign, work with your RD person here at United Way to figure out, okay, who are the employees that it's difficult to get to because of maybe scheduling, what their job entails. We have done presentations at midnight. We've done them in warehouses. We've done them all over and at all times of the day. So please I'm asking you, let us do our job so that we can make it easier and we can help you with this really successful campaign. You want to send out an initial pledge email, have a timeline that you'll send reminders, remind the team of whatever the goal is. Again, we're asking you to work with your RD representative to help set that goal and provide updates. People like to know, how are we doing? Are we getting closer? You typically will see, whether it's an e-pledge campaign or if it's a paper campaign, you'll see obviously a big rush at the beginning and then a big rush at the end where people are like, oh wow, I've forgotten to do that. But it doesn't hurt during the campaign, however long your campaign is, keep people updated, let them know. And remember, people don't ask, or people don't give if they're not asked. That is always, in fundraising, it is always the biggest thing that you will see as far as the reason why people don't give. So how can you have fun and provide incentives? Now, this is where we certainly have, things have changed a little bit during the campaign, and I give so much credit to our team here for them coming up on ideas. But a lot of the best ideas that we come up with actually aren't our ideas, they're yours. They're things that you guys continue to amaze us with ways, creative ways you come up to do things virtually this year to still have fun. Whether it's contests, it could be a trivia it could be a trivia game, it could be virtual bingo, a virtual talent show. There is a variety of things that you can provide, which it's just, we need to laugh right now because this is, although Josh started us off, it is a gloomy day. we still have a sense of humor is really important to get all of us through what we're going through together as a region and a country. So some of these things, it brings a smile to someone's face and it helps raise money. That's a double win. So if we can do that, please, 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 again, back to, you're going to keep hearing this, talk to your RD person at United Way that you can, and they will help you with some of these ideas and how to make it happen. Typically there's an entrance fee. If it's a trivia contest, you know, it's X number of dollars to play, and then the winner gets a gift card or something like that, or winner gets a better parking spot, winner gets a PTO day, something like that. So these are all ways that you can bring fun and provide incentives for the campaign. So with that, I did mention before, Emily Watkins. Emily's our Senior Director of Strategic Engagement. She handles a lot of things for us, but one of the things her and her team really work on is providing a wonderful volunteer opportunities for our corporate partners like you. And Emily's going to talk a little bit about that right now. So, Emily.
Great. Thank you, Dan. And thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm going to speak a little bit about tips and recommendations for volunteer opportunities. Josh, could you go to the next slide, please? And the next one. Thank you. So the first tip is to collaborate with us to ensure that your volunteer efforts are enhancing your campaign and not hindering it. There's nothing like getting out in the community and volunteering to help see the impact that you're making with United Way and help reinforce that gift. I met my own neighbor at a United Way campaign, or excuse me, a United Way volunteer event, and he was participating in a program for socially isolated, food insecure older adults. So my own neighbor, I didn't know that he was hungry and alone at home, and it just made such an impact on me and has really changed the way I interact with my neighbors on a daily basis and has been so positive. There's nothing like that to help complement your giving campaign. I've also seen some volunteer projects that don't provide that level of volunteer experience and can end up not having the positive impact on the campaign that you wanted. I think two main reasons is it's just the project that was chosen wasn't the right fit, or maybe there wasn't the capacity to execute on it. So what you see in front of you, this slide was a great UPS group. They came out, they really showed up, they transformed a home in partnership with Project Homes. So Audrey showed you a video that featured, or a slide that featured Clifford and Rosina. It was through that same organization, Project Homes, that UPS was volunteering, and it was a great day. But I've also seen some other projects where maybe the team leader's really gung-ho about getting out there and doing yard work, but is surprised to find that his team doesn't feel the same way. So if your household is like mine, you know that no one appreciates being voluntold to do yard work. So there's really finding the right fit for your team or your company is really essential. And also making sure that you have the capacity. So you don't want to be the company that leaves Clifford and Rosina on the hook with a half-done yard or a half-done wheelchair ramp. And so if you partner with United Way, we always give you a minimum and maximum number of volunteers for a project that you're doing. And we ask that you stay within that range. So I've seen some projects where the ECM, you all have to scramble to make sure you're hitting that minimum number of volunteers, and you have to send out email after email. So something like that could take away from your United Way campaign. So my first tip is just work with us and let's talk about what would be the right fit for you all. Next slide, please. So for your Day of Caring, that's what we call it when it's a volunteer project just for your team. And we work with you all to find that right fit. It can take a lot of time to plan. So this picture is from a Bank of America project where they installed a United Way early learning trail, which are signs and activities that help parents and caregivers use the world around them to develop early literacy skills. And we put this one in Mosby Court, and it was a great project. It had community involvement and a great community day when we launched it. A project like that can take a lot of time to plan. That one took 6 months to plan, and there was funds involved in that trail. Not every project is going to be like that, but if you want to do something big like that, big community day, there might be some timing involved. Next slide, please. So some things to consider. your goals for the effort and company culture. So we've worked with some companies that have very specific goals about the impact that they're looking to make in our community. Maybe it's around workforce development, that college or career readiness step to success. Maybe it's around that financial well-being step to success, and they have really honed in impact goals. I've worked with other companies where their goal is really to spend the day outside. All of us, we can know that virtual engagement has pros and cons, and some of it is just being at this computer all day and they just really wanted to spend that day outside. So I think the key is knowing what your goals are, as well as the anticipated number of volunteers, which I touched on, your preferred timing or scheduling. Sometimes volunteering doesn't have to happen during the campaign time. I always think a campaign volunteer opportunity in the spring, after, or maybe leading up into the campaign, that can really complement a giving campaign as well, and as well as your budget. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so if you're saying this sounds like a lot to plan, I don't know if this is the right fit for us or the right fit for us this year. We also have volunteer opportunities on our website that you can go and register for, so you don't have to set up anything specifically for your company. You can register a whole group, so all of you are there, or you can just send it to volunteers and they can register as individuals. We've also worked with other companies spotlighting different volunteer opportunities where their employees can volunteer as individuals. We have partners like Feedmore that's doing food distribution that still needs those high number of volunteers. So we have things that we can pass along to you there. And in terms of the types of opportunities, right now we have in-person, outside, socially distant volunteer opportunities, like installing that early learning trail, or coming up in September and October, we have a number of opportunities to install little free libraries at partnership locations throughout our region to do in small groups. And that's something, if folks have their kids at home with them, younger volunteers can join along as well. So that's one in-person volunteer opportunity. We also have remote volunteer opportunities. So we have a Cars of Encouragement initiative supporting our partner agencies and other essential workers right now, giving them, just letting them know that their community is behind them. So that's a good remote volunteer opportunity. We also have a toolkit about how to create United Way literacy kits in a remote and or socially distant fashion. And then we have some virtual volunteer opportunities, doing mock interviews and resume review as part of our Strengthening Skills for Career Success volunteer opportunity. Something like that, we can add more sessions if your company is interested in doing that for a day of caring. Something like that would take a little bit more time to plan, but I think that there's a range of what type of volunteer opportunity you want to do, what your timeline is, and what your budget is. So please just reach out to us, and we look forward to working with you all to find the right fit. And again, volunteering, I think, is just really a way to make it real and make it fun and show the impact that we're making in communities. So thank you so much. So with that, we'll go to the next slide and turn it over to Making the Ask. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thanks, Emily. Emily also, in addition to her work with volunteerism, which obviously she does a lot, she works with our local government and school partners. So she is the research development contact on that. So any folks on the call today regarding local government and schools, Emily would be your person. She does a fantastic job with both. So thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Dan.
So we're talking about making an ask, and it's the one thing, if you ask anybody, what is the one thing they really, really dislike in life? Well, they'll give you a couple answers, but oftentimes, if you ever get into fundraising, they say, I hate asking people for money. So unfortunately, people, again, don't give if they're not asked. So we talk about in-person ask, we talk about an email reminder at your kickoff. And this is one of the benefits of certainly having your United Way rep at the kickoff. Trust me, we will do that. We will make the ask at that event. And as far as from an ECM point of view, it really is easier to ask someone else to donate if you have actually supported the campaign yourself. And regardless of what the amount is, it does not matter, but it is easier to ask others to support something that you actually have supported. So many of you put in so much time and effort into this. We just ask you as a leader in your organization to obviously help support the campaign. it's always helpful to have the ECM or your leadership, whether it's CEO or another staff, state why they give. Why is it important to them? And this is where in years past, sometimes when people would say, oh, I'm being coerced. No, it's not. When it's done properly, it's just simply saying, this is why United Way is important to me and why I give. Coercion is, you will give. This is simply saying, this is why it's important to me. It's giving, and we'll say this from United Way's point of view, it is an individual decision. And we ask you to really consider it and consider the many options that you can give through United Way. But CEO will typically, if you choose to use ePledge, the CEO can put a letter on ePledge, can record a video to go on ePledge to talk about why United Way is important, and knows that is a great tool to use to help your campaign. Remember, we're asking on behalf of the entire community. There are a lot of people in need. You don't need to be told this, right? And the problems that were existing before have only been exacerbated with everything that has gone on in the country, certainly since the start of COVID-19. It certainly has just brought a lot of things to the forefront. So we are not asking this on behalf of Give to United Way. We're asking for the people that we're trying to help and to make this a better place to live and work. It's our community, ours, yours, and ours together. And the one important thing that oftentimes gets forgotten, tell people how to give and when to give, the actual directions. That's something typically that we would ask the ECM to do, or if someone else is whoever is taking the lead on that, it might not be the ECM, especially if it's a payroll deduction. It's oftentimes payroll, someone from your payroll area. But please, please, please tell them how to give, how to go on the pledge card, how to go on ePledge, make it as easy as possible. And we can help provide those, we would provide those instructions to try and make that as easy as possible. But that is a common thing that we often forget to tell someone. We get them, we tell them all the great work United Way is doing, and then we don't tell them how to give, and then they're off and they're gone. So be clear, why is giving important and what are you asking? Use a giving platform that fits your culture. Again, we talked a little bit about where are your employees, where are they located, what's their job roles. We want to meet you where you are. So let's make this as easy as possible. We know you are giving up your time for this. We want to make this as easy as possible so that you're successful, and never, ever, ever forget to say thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit about going virtual and what you can do. Talk to your leadership at the company. Again, we talked to that and I mentioned that earlier, why that's so important, getting them on board. Share that with us so that we know. How have you already been using? What have you been using to stay connected with your colleagues? And review on yourunitedway.org. It's a great resource. Follow United Way on social media for constant updates and just content to share. We're constantly pushing stuff out, and it's just a better way to learn about United Way. And that is one of the greatest tools you as an ECM can have, is to truly understand what you're standing up and asking other people to give to. Virtual resources, you may have seen Emily Watkins, I believe, is using one right now, custom Zoom backgrounds, videos, presentation templates, infographics. We can provide all this to you to make this a successful campaign. We talked about alternative to paper pledge forms, which is our ePledge platform. Please, if you're interested, talk to your resource development staff contact and we can make that happen. We talked about speakers that are available, and we're there for you. Other resources for you, you can access the campaign guide, which goes through everything you see on the screen. I'm not going to read every bullet point for you. It is a little bit more in detail than what I went into today. So if that's something, a way you prefer to learn, that is there for you as well. You can get that at yourunitedway.org, or you can talk to your resource development contact at United Way, and we can make sure we get that in your hands. Again, signage, if you want posters, we still certainly can do all that and arrange to get it to you in a very safe way. And you can see the full list at yourunitedway.org under campaign resources. Those materials are there for you. Signs and posters do help. They really do. People see it. It gets it back top of mind, because oftentimes it's not top of mind because there's so many other things going on, and especially again, you guys know yourself. What is your situation? Do you have more people in an office? Are you now completely remote? So obviously, if the signage and posters would help for those in the office, let us know and we can make that happen. So with that, Josh mentioned we will have some time for Q&A. We do have a few minutes left. I would be remiss without saying thank you to you. Josh mentioned it. You don't know how important you are to this. You really are the most important part of our campaign is you as our ECM. That's why we do this training. You are that front line. You are the face of United Way to many of your colleagues. And some of you, we used to do a routine where we'd ask, how did you get involved in this? And many times people were voluntold, which is, you do it this year. But we also had a lot of people who've done it and they truly just love doing it because what they get out of it. And what you need to know is you're making a difference because every dollar raised that dollar is going to help somebody here. And it could be on any one of those 9 steps, but you are making a difference. You are the main contact. You are that face again of United Way and that person in need. So from every one of us here, our board members, our volunteers, our staff, and the people we help, thank you for what you're doing. We know this is, it takes some time and we do appreciate your time and efforts with this campaign. So with that being said, Q&A, Josh, are we gonna do just text or in the chat box?
Wait for folks to put anything in the chat if they have questions.
Okay, so if you have anything, please put it in the chat. If you have any questions. If you do not, certainly please reach out to your contact at United Way. We would, be glad to answer any questions you have. So, all right, with that, guys, I appreciate your time and efforts. We're going to turn it back over to Josh to wrap it up. So thanks. Have a wonderful day.
Back up and masked up. I guess you guys are all used to that at this point, right? So thank you guys so much for today. It's a real pleasure to have you all here. Let me just check the chat one more time. Hopefully didn't miss any questions or anything. Nope. First, thank you to Kim Domingo. I know you guys have been seeing lots of awesome stuff coming through the chat. She's been providing you guys with links. Please check them out. She's providing you a lot of great information and a lot of great things you can use for your campaign. As Dan said, us as your representatives and folks, your contacts here, we are always happy to help you. If you want to have one-on-one conversations with us about how best do your campaign, what works for you guys, considering everything that we have going on. So we are here as a resource for you and to help you every step of the way. It is no understatement that we are in, well, it is an understatement, we are in challenging times for our community. And our campaigns and your campaigns are going to be able to, provide us the resources we need to be able to help folks that really need it. So we can't say thank you enough. As I said earlier, you guys are really the foundation for what we do and what we can provide to the community. You guys as ECMs, as donors, thank you. I really appreciate it. So I just want to say this, have a great rest of the week. Have a fantastic weekend. The sun will be out, hopefully. So I hope you guys take advantage of that. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who spoke today. Dan, Audrey, Emily, you guys take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.